Hello everybody, Star Baby Homestead here. Me and Cassie are going to show you guys what we plan on planting in this month. It is the 3rd of July today, right before the holiday, and we're not expecting any rain for the next week. We're in a heat wave right now, and the temperatures are going to be in the 90s. So while it's dry, now's the perfect time to start either directly sowing some of your veggies to take you into fall. Now I am in zone 8, 8A, 8B, and there's a lot of stuff that I can plant well into November. So first thing we're going to get started with is tomatoes. Now, you've seen my determinants here. I have the market basket tomatoes, which are these pretty little things right here that look like heirlooms, and well, they are. And then we have my green giants, which are flowering, but I haven't seen any fruit except maybe that one down growing, just a volunteer plant that's growing in my asparagus. It looks like it could be green giant. Won't know until they start to soften a little bit. But for now, no green giant tomatoes. So only market basket. And they're indeterminate, so they're going to be growing for a long, long time. So what I have ordered are some hybrids. Some determinate F1 hybrids. And why is that? Well, heirloom tomatoes have a little bit of a struggle with diseases, and they're very temperamental when it comes to the weather. So blazing heat is great for some, not so great for others. They'll drop their blossoms. I have had great success the first year in growing green giants, and the next year not so much. I'm hoping this year may be better, but we just don't know. So going into fall, it's going to continue to get hotter, so I am going to plant some hybrids and determinate, so that they'll grow fast and they'll produce a lot of tomatoes, and they're also great for the heat. I believe I have a beefsteak type, and I have a yellow gold, a sun gold type tomato. So that's what I'm growing by ways of tomatoes, so that I don't run out. Hopefully that'll carry me well into the frost. So we shall see. The next veggie that I plan on planting is another batch of white scallop squash. Now, you guys already saw my previous videos where, we get squash bug really bad here. Squash beetles and vine borers. And these squash plants are actually still holding on pretty well. They're still producing squash. But what I may do is, after this last little push of squash, I may even get some, you can see them growing here. I may even pull these and go ahead, that one just fell off, but I may just go ahead and pull these while they're young and tender, and I'm going to go ahead and just start in my seed bed, just some squash, new squash plants. I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead, maybe plant them in my seed trays, and then transplant them into this bed after I've cleared out all of these. Squash plants aren't intended to last for an entire season. They grow fast, they put out a bunch of fruit, and if you have weather like ours, the heat, disease, you can kind of tell they're looking spent. They're not, some of them are bright green, but for the most part, they start getting these, powdery mildew. These don't have powdery mildew. Which is great, probably because it's been super hot, but they're starting to yellow and they're getting spots on them. and they have been ravaged by bugs. Luckily, when I sprayed spectricide, that kind of took care of them, but which I'm getting this nice last little push of squash before the next batch. So squash, going to be planting that soon too. Now, right next to the squash, we have the dragon's tongue green beans. They're not really green now, are they? They're still flowering, as you can see, but they're starting to get spots on them. You can tell they're getting spent. They're starting to put out some pretty lackluster beans here. So what I'm gonna do with these, same thing. Now, hubby, he's not too enthralled with these. He wants just some regular old green beans, and I don't blame him, because your blue lakes, your jade greens, they're all tried and true, and they're just delicious. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull these plants, and I'm going to plant jade greens in place of these. And then I'm going to, with the remaining seeds that I have of the dragon tongue, I'm going to plant them in another location, and I'm going to leave the beans on the pod, inside the pod on the plant until they dry, and we're going to see how they are as dry beans. I heard they're just delicious. These are actually pretty good too, but I don't know. They're just, when they cook up, they don't cook up with this lovely color. They taste good, but I mean, jade green beans taste just as well. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it was fun growing them. So yeah, we'll see how they are as dry beans. The next plant that I'm going to be replacing is going to be my cucumber. Now, cucumber is one of those that grow fast, once again, put out a lot of fruit, and then they start to get kind of diseased and lackluster looking. So this side is looking pretty well because it's shaded, and I believe some of the younger plants, now I planted all of these anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks apart. So there are some plants that you can see over here that look like they're starting to die back. Look at this yellow. See, they're starting to die. And then usually they start getting just like bugs and just weird stuff. But they're still producing cucumbers, right? So what I'm going to do is go in and try to pull the oldest plants that I can find, and then just replace them with newer plants, which I'm going to be seeding. So you can plant all of these, either directly sow them into your garden, or you can just start seed beds if you want to, you know, keep them in the shade a little while longer if you're dealing with hot weather such as we are. But yeah, you want to replace your cucumbers, extend the season. And you can plant them all the way up into frost, because again, cucumbers don't take all that long. So I probably could get 1 or 2 more harvests out of this. Right now we are swimming in cucumbers, but you know, they also don't keep very well. So unless you pickle them, so you want, if you go through cucumbers the way we do, you want this wonderful influx of cucumbers coming. That means you just have to replenish and replace your plants. Another plant that I plan on starting is going to be red curry. Now, as you can see, I already have red curry out here. I already have it here on the vine, and I'm not going to be pulling it until most of these are ripe, if not all of them are ripe. They want to ripen on the vine. Here we have a couple here. There's one, and then I've got one down here. You can see. So once those, and then I've got one growing up here. So I'm going to start probably in my seed trays. I'm going to start growing these again. because by the time this vine starts dying back, and you can already start to see some yellowing down here. Now also, the poor plants got ravaged by vine borers. I was able to save them, but that doesn't mean it doesn't take its toll. Any kind of pest sucking on your plants are going to interject diseases. They're going to stress the plant out. So this vine is not quite as fresh as it was when obviously it was planted and then it started to grow. So once this starts dying back, I'll be able to pull it. Until then, I'm going to leave those squash on there. And what I'm thinking of doing is starting over here, somewhere in one of these areas, maybe right here where all this grass is. I'm going to be starting a new patch of red curry squash. So that's another thing I plan on planting in July. And let's see, what else? Radishes. So my radishes just went straight to almost to seed. I still have a lot, but my green giants, my German giant, they were right here. The radishes were growing right here. And they just didn't do well. This whole bed, and I don't know if it's just because it's so hot, but a lot of things that I had growing on here bolted kind of early. So hopefully for fall planting, so this is actually summer, but I'll be able to get in a fall planting, which means if I plant by mid-July, they planting in summer for fall harvest. Okay. I don't know why I can't get my words out today, people. Please be understanding. Sometimes it's like that. But anyhow, so I'm going to have radishes growing here. Another thing that I plan on planting is lettuce. You can still grow lettuce, but you want to make sure that you have some that can stand up to the heat. The ones that I have here, I've had to pull some of them. Red Sails. That's always a good lettuce. This one here, I believe, is Yugoslavian. Actually, this is a speckled butterhead. And it's slow growing, but it does really good in the heat. And so does the Red Sails, which is right here. They look very similar. You see, speckled, Red Sails. But they both do pretty well. The rest of them kind of, they're kind of bolting. And they've been bolting, and I've kind of had a hard time because it just got so rapidly hot so fast. So use your row covers. Use your row covers to extend your harvest. One more thing that I plan on planting, small watermelon. Okay, these are big ones. These are the Jubilees, which are those big striped ones that, if you saw my previous video, big striped watermelon. And I want smaller watermelon that may not take as long and won't take up so much room in the refrigerator. So I'm thinking I might put them over here, or even take them a little bit down where this container is, somewhere. I mean, they need lots of space to grow. I could even plant them over here in this bed right here and allow them to drape over here onto the plastic. However, I've had a lot of good success, and I got this tip, like I said, from the Millennial Gardener, to plant your watermelon in the shade underneath some trees, or, you know, keep them on black plastic, and then allow them to tendril out here so that the fruit can grow onto the plastic free of weeds and pests. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. This is my first time doing this, but I did trust, and it did work when I planted the watermelon in the shade of the shed and let it just sprawl. I had really good success and lots of good watermelon. So that's all for today. I just wanted to let you guys know what I was planting. A lot of people don't think about planting in July because it's it's hot, and it's at peak, not only is that peak heat, but it's, you know, it's still early summer, but people are so worried about the heat, and it does wreck your seedlings. The year before, I had so many problems putting seedlings out. This year, I have plenty of row covers. Get yourself some of those nice green row covers. You can find them on Amazon, and use them to cover up your seedlings when you put them out. And then let them get established, and then, you know, if you want, you can take them off. I have grown whole crops underneath row covers. The sun here just gets so hot. Let me know in the comments what you are growing for July. I love my grapevine, guys. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm going to do a video on harvest. But yes, this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you're growing in July. I probably have some more stuff on this list I want to add. I thought about trying to grow some more broccoli and cauliflower since it's been such a failure. But I have ordered some F1 hybrids, and from here on out, I may do a combination of hybrids and heirlooms, but I don't think I'm going to rely so heavily on the heirlooms just because it's so hard. And I mean, I love gardening, don't get me wrong, but I actually want to be able to eat what I grow. And if nothing grows, then, you know, what do I do? So let me know what you're growing in July. If you're growing any type of hybrids, if you have some veggies that are tried and true that produce every single year without fail, despite the rain, the heat, and all of the tumultuous weather that we have in summer, be well, be blessed, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.